What up, YouTube world? Welcome back to Bomb Boy TV. It's your boy here, Marvin Marv, coming back at you with another video. But before we get into anything else, y'all know what y'all need to do. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and last but certainly not least, hit that motherfucking bell. Alright, y'all, now that we gotten that stuff out the way, let's get into what I've been talking about this week. It's time for another edition of Let's Talk. Alright, so the first question we're going to talk about is, could you date someone who has a diagnosed mental illness? And I asked that way because I know people are like, well, you know, I've dated people who have mental illness, not a serious one, but just a crazy. So I figured I had to be more specific in how I asked it. And a lot of people, they were just like, you know, yes, they could. Some people were like, no, just flat out no, just because, you know, you don't know what that might bring, or you don't know what, you know, how it will bring you down. And just a lot of people were just saying, like, as long as they're managing it and sticking with it, they will be fine with it. I don't know if I could date someone with a mental illness. I don't know, there's so many different things, and me myself, I go through my own wave of emotions on my own. So I don't know how that would like gel together, because I just feel like, you know, because someone, you just have to always be, I don't know, it's hard to say. I guess I would have to be in that situation to really, you know, truly answer that question, or to know if I would. But I don't know. That's a hard one. Like, I don't know what I would do. Like, I feel like a part of me could, but here it is. Like, when I first start talking to someone, if they tell me that, you know, and they present it to me in a way like, hey, you know, I'm managing it, you know, blah, 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 you know, sometime I'm going to be off my rockers, things like that, fine. And I know this might sound crazy because, you know, you really can't control when you have a moment or a crisis. I'm not sure of the correct terminology, so I don't want to say anything too crazy. But, like, let me fall for you first. You know what I mean? Because, you know, there's nothing holding us together in the beginning. Like, let me fall for you first, and then I'll probably be able to, you know, cope with it and just see how to maneuver it. You know what I mean? As long as it's not hindering to me or to my mental health, which is different than, you know, mental illness. So, there's a lot to think about, but people, you know, were open and honest, and I even raised the question, like, so what if, you know, you're married, you've built this life with someone, and then you found out later down the road that they have a mental illness that went untreated or went undiagnosed, and now they have it. Like, could you stay? And that's a good question, too. I think that's a valid question, because some people aren't as what's the word? People aren't as forthcoming with their stuff because of the fear of, you know, and one of my friends, she even said, like, you know, the stigma that comes along with, you know, being labeled mentally ill. I think when you think of someone that's mentally ill, you think of somebody that's like in a straight jacket, like the people you see on the movie Good Burger. Like, you think of that, but that's not always the case. It doesn't mean that they're not functioning human adults. It's just, you know, they have issues. And I think in one way or another we all have issues, but I think just having that label, I think it should go away. I do agree with that. Because not everybody that has mental illness is crazy or anything like that. You just have to kind of know and be educated and aware of what is going on. But yeah, that's kind of where I was at with the question. Yeah. I don't know. That's my thing. I don't know. But I guess only time will tell. Whatever happens, whatever is meant for me. So, let's go to the next question, y'all. All right, so this next question, it got the people going. So this question was, it was deep. It had a lot of, it opened up a lot of dialogue. I noticed on my social media platforms, just just people conversating, just seeing where people come from, and I thought it was interesting how like a lot of the guys had one thing to say, and the women had others. But anyway, the question was, is it okay for your current partner to be financially, and emotionally still there for their ex's children? And a lot of the women that commented were like, hell no! But, and a lot of the men were like, yeah, like if I've built a bond with that kid, or if I've, been around here, I'm the only father figure that kid knows, then why not? Like, I'm not, it's because it didn't work out between me and the mother, doesn't mean, I have to abandon the kid. And some people got into like their own personal stories of what they've seen happen with family members that did happen to, like when the father figure that they had, went away. And some women were like, no, like bro, like once y'all over and you moved on, it's me and you. These are our finances, this is our household, this is, what we got going on. So no, you can't, no. You're not taking out of my mouth to feed this mouth, things like that. All right, so here's my stance. Oh, because I have an opinion too. I mean, hey, it's Let's Talk, so you gotta, be open to everybody's opinion. So I feel like it's okay, but it has to be done with respect and maturity on everybody's part. And I'm gonna break it down a little bit for you. Like, some people said, like, well, or Rose like said the acts like, well, is their biological parent around or blah blah blah. I don't think that matters, and I say that because yeah, their biological parent may be around, but when someone starts dating, they're around more. So. And sometimes, sometimes people move in together, or the couple could just be together all the time. They're around each other, so it's different. It's a different type of connection because you're seeing this person every day. Like that person might be there to help you or help them with their homework. That person might be there to take them to their practice and things like that. So yeah, they might have a relationship with their biological parent, but it's still different, you know what I mean? Because it's two different households and two different time schedules and things like that. So I think to just, if it didn't work out with the parent and that person, just to yank that, sense of stability from the child, it's kind of touchy because children, regardless of what we do as adults, they didn't ask to be here. They didn't ask for you to bring this person into their life. And I think that goes into, just being smart about who you bring around your child at all times. But, hey, I honestly feel like just because it's over doesn't mean it has to be over with the kid. Now, I will say that it has to be a level of understanding, and the mother of that child has to understand that anything that you do for her son or daughter is voluntary. So there's no calling like, hey, I need to, no. If I want to help or he wants to help, then he has to be something that he's calling, he's calling and seeing if he can do anything because he had extra or because he had time. So I don't think that the idea of, oh, you better do this because you've been doing it, that shouldn't be there. But if they genuinely want to have a relationship with that kid, I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just all about maturity and the level of respect for your current relationship. And then at some point, maybe the new spouse or the new girlfriend or new girlfriend, the new girlfriend or boyfriend can, you all can merge together and be there for that kid, your kids, her, you know what I mean? Just a big camaraderie. Because, I think we are just sometimes selfish. Now, if there's backstories to things, then it might be a different thing. But I'm just talking about like the straight ex moved on. But if there's like cheating involved, of course you're not gonna want to hear none of that. You're not even about that. But if it's solely for the kid, like, no, you're not gonna be just, at the house, chilling. You're gonna pick them up, take them out, do what you gotta do, and bring them off, drop them off, boom, boom, boom. I'll see you next time. Chop it up. That's that. But I just think it's levels, and we have to, get out of our feelings all the time, especially when it comes to kids, because they are very impressionable. And if you think about it, we all have issues from our childhood that affected us as adults. And so you never know what us doing can affect how that affects the child. So you just gotta be smart. And ladies and gentlemen, the moral of the story is wrap it up. You know what I mean? If you don't plan on being with someone, or don't bring kids into the world, you know what I mean? Just wrap it up. Practice safe sex. Too many of us out here are raw dogging. It saddens me. But yeah, on to the next question. All right, guys. So the last question of tonight was, how often should a couple have relations? In layman's terms, how often should they have sex? And y'all really went in, you know what I mean? No wonder my friends will be texting me back when I got questions or concerns or comments, because they be getting it in. So a lot of people were just saying like every day, at least twice a day. Some people say once a week or twice a week. One of my followers, she commented, I love her, because she went in. She was like, I don't have time. I work 40 hours a week. I'm tired. Like, you be lucky, you know what I mean, when you do get it. You know what I mean? Just because you got shit to do. You know what I mean? Nobody just sitting around, laying around, I'm here. I'm ready. No, it's not happening. But I don't know. What I was saying is, though, I'm single, so I don't really know, how I would be. But thinking back to past, I was a bit of a horn dog at times. But again, I was in a long distance situation. So when we did see each other, it was like, whew, got it in. But I will say, there were situations where we, had relations a couple times a day. And the nigga was tired. I got a headache. I couldn't function. I was tired. So you mean, this is when I didn't have a job. You know what I mean? So you mean tell me, y'all are working 40 hours a day. Some people working 60, okay? And then you want to come back, and then at least a good sex session is about a good 45 minutes when you add the foreplay and then the actual action, then the cuddle afterwards. You know what I mean? Good, if y'all about that life, you might get a couple hours out. So I'm just like, who has time? You know what I mean? So that's where I was at. But I mean, to each his own. Y'all are all grown and consenting adults. So get it in as much as you like. But I'm just gonna pray for him and just, no babies right now. And those watching know why. But yeah, so hey, teach his own. So if you have topics that you want to ask or things that you just be thinking about, because you be thinking, let me know. And I will shoot them out to the masses and see what they said, because you may not be the only one. But until next time, I will see you guys later. more content coming, different content coming. So just stay tuned. This is Bomboy TV. Peace.